they're stuck inside my head. Remembering you and I analyze all those things you said. You told me you love me, you kissed and you hugged me, then you smiled and look in my eyes and tell me that you'll always be right there.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and happy freaking Friday, y'all. It is none other than the crazy rich aunties up in this thing. Did y'all miss us? Of course you did. Um, we want to welcome y'all to another episode of PGC After Dark with the crazy rich aunties right here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. All right. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow all of the aunties here. I am none other than Auntie Silky Thick, aka Leo Rochelle. We got Auntie Lindsay in the building. Auntie Lynn up in this thing. Hey girl. You gonna say hey?
He was muted.
You
Well, you, there
muted.
you go. You saw me put it down.
There you go. Okay. Hey, Auntie Regina.
Hey,
How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good, girl.
Welcome, welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you.
And then we got Auntie Ayla. Ayla, welcome back, honey baby.
Hi.
How is you doing?
Girl, maintaining.
Understood, understood. And then we got none other, last but not least, Auntie Deidre. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey.
How you doing, honey?
I am doing fantastic on this fantastic Friday.
Good, 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 good. So tonight we is gonna have some real grown conversation, and I hope y'all is ready. I hope y'all is ready for the conversation we having tonight. Um, Tonight we are talking about being untamed and unapologetic. Okay, reclaiming pleasure, power, and the divine feminine. And I know y'all probably like, the hell is all of this about? Because when we get to talking about something different or we use certain words like divine, when we use words like divine feminine or we use words, um, along those lines, people tend to quite often get offended by that. Because they don't, it's usually terms that they don't fully understand. And so we are going to tap into this conversation tonight. We hope that you all give us a moment of your time, a few moments of your time, so that we can have this discussion, so that we can truly dive in and have a real conversation. So, okay. So, when y'all hear the word untamed or unapologetic, what do those words, like, what comes to mind when y'all hear those words?
Not controlled.
Mmm.
Freedom.
Free spirit.
Oh, oh.
I can do what I want.
Come on. Do what you want. Do what you like. Come on.
Do They
Do
took what you all my words.
what you like. I like that. I
Doing
like
you.
that. For
Doing
me,
you.
untamed just means free spirited.
hmm
Like, I'm out here, not, and I'm not for the streets. I'm just out here doing what I want to do, doing what makes me feel good, doing what makes me feel free. Cause, sometimes we get boxed in.
hmm
Mm.
hmm
But unapologetic, oh my God. That is literally moving authentically for me. Moving authentically. Um, I think sometimes we get so caught up in trying to navigate spaces and trying to do it in a way that pleases other people that we forget about our own pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So I think those are a few of the things for me that make a big difference.
I get exactly what you're saying. Like moving in a space where you're not second guessing yourself. You're not sitting over
Absolutely.
there trying to figure out this, that, and the third. Like if I do this, how that person gonna feel, or how's this going to look,
Hmm.
or what are they going to say?
Yes,
Who
ma'am. Yes,
cares?
ma'am. That's it. That's exactly it. Because one of the things as I get older is that I'm starting to navigate in spaces that I just feel like this is what I like. This is what I want to do. This is what I enjoy. So I am going to do exactly that for who?
Me,
Me.
me, myself, and I.
And I
What I
ain't
got
that it.
in.
Period. Okay? That's what I found out. But also, I've been nude it.
Yeah, and you
I've
know what's
been nude it
crazy
and I
is how
found
we
out.
know that. It's
Um,
crazy how we already know that, and sometimes depending on like the situation and circumstances, we still find ourselves navigating in a space where we second guess ourselves.
oh yeah, absolutely. And the reason being is that a lot of us are programmed to operate in the thought process of making sure our decisions don't affect everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is our programming. That the decisions that you make for yourself cannot affect everybody else. So a lot of us, if we have siblings or depending on the household that we grew up in, we are very mindful of how we navigate and what we do in order to not rock the boat.
Right.
You know, like um we are taught to, even in elementary school, we are taught to stand in line. Don't get out of line. If you out of line, this is how you walk in a straight line. This is how you color. You,
Mm-hmm.
uh black people gotta be brown. You know what I'm saying? You color people have to be a certain color. No, what if I wanted to color this motherfucker orange? That's just cause I feel like coloring this motherfucker orange, but you keep telling me he gotta be brown because he a person. So we are taught to operate in a certain way, in a certain manner, and anything outside of that way that we're taught, it could possibly disrupt the flow of everybody else around you.
Mm-hmm.
So we are always taught to think about the community, but very rarely are we taught to think about how our actions affect us in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Because
mhm,
no matter the thing is, no matter what we do, it's going to affect outside of it affecting us. It's going to affect somebody else.
Yeah.
mhm, which is true.
It doesn't matter good or bad. It's somebody's going to be affected by the decisions that we make. Might as well let us be the ones to be uh not having to apologize for it later or feeling like you have to.
And I think the biggest part of it all is that a lot of times we be apologizing for things that we don't have to apologize for. You're
Mm-hmm.
grown. You
True.
know, I don't have to apologize for the fact that I choose to date 4 or 5 men. Why I gotta apologize to you for that? That's not affecting your life. That's not affecting nothing that's got going on with you. So mind your business. You know, like no,
Period.
for real, mind your business. Um, but we apologize for a lot of things simply because we always feel like we have to, especially women. We are taught that we gotta
Hmm.
have these conversations or we have to talk about these things or apologize in a certain manner. And the one beautiful thing lately that I have like truly enjoyed is getting to know my sisters better.
Mm.
And because we've been doing that, like I've always been like the eyeball. My mama's wild child, so to speak. But I've always like went to the beat of my own drum and all those kind of things. But I also have been always been the one that try to tailor the things that I do to fit a certain expectation or to fit what I think other people expect of me.
Mm-hmm.
When they ain't not even thinking about my black ass. Ain't not even thinking about my black ass. And I'm up here worried about what they thinking about what I'm doing. They ain't even think about me. But we recently had the conversation um about me thinking about open relationships and ethical non-monogamy and polyamorous relationships. Not saying that that's the direction I've decided to go, but I've been having the conversation. I've been having the thoughts. And my sister, being who she is, said, "Oh, girl, read this book." And that's where I got the books from that I showed you. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago. And the books were absolutely amazing. It helped me gain some insight, gain some perspective. Because, like I said, my life is changing. And the older I get, the more I'll be like, do I want to deal with one person? But, you know, so I think when we decide to stop trying to fit into a narrative or stop thinking that other people have an expectation of us, that we can truly operate in a life that is fitting for the person that we truly are.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I think
Yes, ma'am.
sometimes social media does this thing where they give you like these they give like these rules and regulations of life, and it's like, that's not fitting for everybody.
Right.
Not every,
Absolutely.
not everybody's going to get married and have the kids and a family. Some people are going to have these polyamorous relationships. Some people are just going to be alone and they're happy with that and being
Mm-hmm.
secluded. Some people going to date. I think the problem is people not being honest.
Hey, I love my temple. I don't know your name, but I love this picture, this profile picture you got, honey.
That's cute.
And it's giving goddess, okay? She said we spend so much of our lives caretaking, and therefore I think we are so used to centering everyone else's needs and wants. And we
Mm-hmm.
are. And then she also said, also, we are often raised by women who were all about self-sacrifice.
Self-sacrifice.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Woo! That's a word right
That's
there.
good.
That's a
Come on,
word. Hey, Mama
self-sacrifice.
Ayla.
Hey, mama.
That is a word. Okay. Ooh, Lord.
That is so true, though. Like, have y'all
Mm-hmm.
seen that? It's a trend that's going around. I actually saw it today, and they are giving the kids like a snack, and so some of them they're giving two, some they're giving just one, and some they're giving none, and they're trying to see their responses when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I was reading some of the comments, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's so sweet. She gave up her cookie for her brother, or she gave this, that, and the third." There was one. Well, the girl didn't give up anything, but it was her mom and her dad. Her mom had one, she had two, her dad had none. Her dad got the crying, and she just gave him a hug. And she's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, she told him, "Daddy, go to sleep."
And she gave him
Patted
a
him on the
hug.
back like,
Like,
"Daddy, go to sleep." Like,
and a lot of people, in the comments, it was up and down. So you got the people that's like, "Oh, y'all got to teach her better than that," and blah 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 blah. But then you had some people that's like, "No, sometimes you got to protect yourself and your energy. If I want these donuts and I'm sitting over, I wasn't expecting to have them, and I got them, and I want to eat them. I don't got to share those with you just because you ain't got none. Go get your own."
because sometimes that's part of the problem. Sometimes that's part of the problem. Like you said, sometimes it's part of the problem. Like we up here always trying to care about somebody else. Because if he had two donuts, would you give me one?
No.
Mm-mm. The
You would have ate
one
it.
that was my favorite in that challenge it was two little girls and a guy. And the guy had one, the little girl in the middle had two, and the baby girl had none.
Oh, I saw that one.
And so, um, when baby girl looked around, she looked, and before they could even ask her, ask her sister was she gonna give her one, baby girl said, "Don't worry about it," and she
It's
snatched it out
man.
of her hand. Cause sometimes that's how we gotta be too. We gotta snatch our shit up. We gotta snatch our shit and take it. Cause ain't nobody gonna give you shit sometimes. So
Yeah.
it was. I do love that trend. It's so funny though, just watching how the kids respond and how they decide what they gonna do and if they gonna share it all. Sharing is caring, but sometimes I don't care.
That part.
I'm put that on a shirt.
Sharing is
That
caring
is
sometimes.
catchy.
Sometimes I
Let me
don't
send
care.
that to my sister. Hold on. No.
That's catchy. I would do it, Leo. Do it.
But I ain't mad at baby girl for deciding no, I don't want to. Cause I
Yeah.
don't.
Because I don't feel like it today. And
Yep.
who's to say that today wasn't such a bad day for her? She like, I need these donuts today. Maybe they stressed her out at the daycare. I don't know.
Not stressed out at the daycare.
But I think a lot of times, like I listen to, I try to give myself some inspiration that I listen to throughout the day. And this brings me to something that I listened to not too long ago. It's a past I can't remember because I listened to a lot of them. And they were saying how oftentimes we get to this space where everything that we do doesn't need to be broadcast. We get to accent opinions of everything. And then once we get fed all of these different opinions of what we should do, what we need to do, or how we need to live our lives, or blah, 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 then we take that and it becomes our narrative. We lose sight of what it is that we want to do, or what we feel like we were called to do, or what is comfortable enough for us already, whether that is living in your divine feminine
Mhm.
and things like that. You too busy taking on what everybody else's opinions are that you change your opinion or your narrative. And it doesn't matter who it is. Sometimes people just give it to you and you didn't even ask for it. You just talking like, you know what? I was thinking about this today. Well, what you need to do. I didn't what I didn't do. I didn't
Mm.
ask what you thought I need to do. But now this is the thing that's sitting in you and you're like, well, dang, should I?
And
Should I Would I
that's
be
where
dating
we
both
end up
sides
losing
then?
our voice.
Yeah, you end up losing your
Hmm.
voice.
You lose your voice, or you don't even know what your own voice sounds like anymore. And when I say voice, I don't mean your actual voice. I mean like your thoughts, your processes, what you truly feel when it comes down to the things that you're doing. Because even in building or putting together what we do with PGC, baby, I be sharing stuff, but also sometimes I don't be asking for opinions. I be sharing because I be like, this shit is so dope. So I be sharing it. But also I'll be sharing because I'll be like, okay, help me with the process. Help me with my thoughts. Because sometimes I can get so excited and my dreams can be this motherfucking big. And then
Mm-hmm.
so it'd be like, okay. Help me process. I think even in doing all of this, I have lost my voice so many times because I was like, this is supposed to be a hobby. But also even as it started growing, it was like, yeah, this was supposed I thought it was supposed to be a hobby. Let me put it that way. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Big Sandals had other plans and other
Not big
ideas.
sandals.
Yeah, Big Sandals had other thoughts and plans and ideas. And so it just keeps growing. And so sometimes you have to minimize the outer noise and just tap in, sit still with yourself. Because sometimes when I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna quit, and I text people like, this it. Sometimes I be lying. I be just needing somebody to talk me off the ledge.
Yep, that's exactly what you need.
I be lying. I just need somebody to be like, no, stop tripping. It's gonna be okay.
That part.
But even when I do be wanting to just like quit, it's the reality of like, okay, what the fuck else would I be doing? What else would I do? What else would I do? I would lose. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't podcasting or doing PGC related things. Baby, I probably sitting up here thinking about it now. Like, what would I be doing? What the? I'm gonna have to think on that. I'm gonna really have to think on that. If I couldn't do PGC no more, what the fuck would I be doing?
That means you're not interested in doing anything else. You
Not
locked
shit
in, you
else.
tapped in. You locked in, you tapped in. So like that's not applicable what you're asking.
Right, because I'm like, I mean, if I wasn't doing PGC, I would be. It would just be another name.
Right.
It'll be the same goddamn thing, just a different name. So I don't know. I don't know. I just know that this is what I love to do. This is what I love to do, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I can't do it no more.
Amen.
Period.
Mm-hmm. That
So
part.
everything else outside of it is gonna find its way into PGC. It's gonna become a division of PGC, a part of all of these things, as Ayla got to see today. Okay,
Man.
they don't even know what's in store, Ayla.
It's
All I'm gonna say
good.
is strap up,
It's good.
and
Strap
not with
up
a
a little
condom.
bit.
Okay, not that kind of strap up.
Please no.
Um, um, but let's talk about the revolution, the sensual revolution, like reclaiming pleasure as power. So we
Mm.
see a lot of times we talk about the slut walk and all of that kind of stuff. The slut walk to me was counterproductive to me. Because it made people look as though we were searching for permission to be hoes.
Mm.
Not that we were regaining our power. It looked like we were looking for permission from other people. And
Mm.
I don't think that was something that we should have did. We don't have to ask for permission to make our pleasure our power, or we don't have to ask anybody's permission for things that we do with our own bodies. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was counterproductive because it made it look like we were just a generation of women looking to be looking for the permission to be hoes, looking for the permission to be promiscuous and all of that other kind of stuff. And we don't have to ask permission. Just do, be, explore, go. Peace be with you.
And what and like you said, it was counterproductive because the purpose of that was for what? What was the mission statement?
I don't know. I'm gonna see if they even got a mission statement for it.
Let me see. I'm gonna
Hey
look it up.
Devin,
Hey
Devin said,
Devin
"Hey
Boo.
y'all."
Hey girl.
Oh, hey Tiffany, I see this you girl. She said, "Yes, Auntie Ayla, bring back diaries. Everything does not need to be public opinion at all."
Yep.
Sometimes I'll be like, "Bring back shame," but then what would we be doing on the internet?
Right. You
What
gotta
would we do on the
say,
internet? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Big sandals. I'm gonna look up the mission statement for the
I
slut
just looked
walk.
it up.
Oh, you found it?
So let me explain what I have a huge problem with this right now.
Okay.
And how it agitates me. So apparently it's supposed to be a rally or march, protest or whatever movement that's aimed to make visible the prevalence of victim blaming, rape culture, street harassment, and sexual violence.
huh?
That's what I
Sexual
was about to.
violence?
When I say that's not what I got from that,
No.
That's what I got from that either. That's why I was like, huh?
that is
Did you
not what
see
I
the
got from
Scooby
that.
Doo face come across all of our faces?
You
Like,
did the face. I did the voice. Oh,
So because when I
everybody
read it,
said,
I'm like, Skirsky? It says violence and sexual violence affects all genders, LGBTQ plus communities, sex workers, folks with disabilities, and people of color.
Hmm.
Mm.
When I
That's why
say
they
I've
were half
never,
naked.
yeah, that's why they were naked.
Yeah. It's so that way when they were walking half naked down the street, it's not, when, well, she shouldn't have worn this, or he shouldn't have done this. So basically, if they were walking half naked down the street, I don't know what they were doing, but it didn't. For me, it didn't be like this is empowering the sexual assault movement, the sexual violence movement.
Not at all. Because in all honesty, sexual assault and sexual violence doesn't necessarily always happen to women who are dressing scantily.
Hmm.
And the first victim, like the thing that's going around now with this Poseidon and Medusa thing, when I say every time I read it, I'll be ready to cry. So I just don't. But um let's be honest, sexual assault has happened to a lot of people. I'm not going to say just women, but people at young
Mm.
ages.
Hmm.
So
True.
explain to me what the slut walk was supposed to represent, other than, like you said, being able to walk around naked, half naked, and not, or be out here promiscuous and not feel like you're being judged or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
It's
that
it,
whole thing, I didn't get that from from that.
that's
So,
not what I get.
Mm-mm.
well, okay, we learn something new every day, don't we, boys and girls?
Every
Amen.
day.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do. So, when we talk about pleasure as power, let's talk about why sensual liberation is
Mm-hmm.
more than just sex. Okay,
Mm,
it
Mm,
is self ownership.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Okay,
Mm.
and let's talk about that
let's
because it's
do
not
it.
just about having sex.
No.
Mm-mm.
I was
Mm.
talking to a guy, and he asked me if I had lingerie, and I said I have like drawers full of lingerie. I love lingerie, and he goes, "Well, is it for the men for the men that you hang out with?" I was like, "Absolutely not. It's for me. I will walk around my house in lingerie." And
Yeah.
so I feel the most sensuous in myself with I do my hair, I walk around in lingerie, I sleep in it, but it's for me. It's not for anybody else. And
Hmm.
finding ways to connect with the central part of myself is not for a man, and it's not for anybody I'm sleeping with.
Mm.
Right.
Because why can't be sexy for me?
Right.
Right.
And the other thing too is feeling sexy ain't always about lingerie.
Mhm.
Like this little thing I got on right here, baby. It is the most comfortable. It feels so good on my skin. Like it's like a long ass moo type
Mm.
shit.
I got so
Mm.
And,
many of those.
and it is the most comfortable thing. My homegirl, shout out to Curvy Girl Depot. And I keep asking her, do you have any more of these? Because this shit feel good. And it's
Mm.
orange. Like orange. Okay? I love a good orange. I love me some shit in some color. But then she had an olive green one. I bought that one too.
Oh, olive green, my
Cause bitch, if you
color.
got
Yeah,
some more
I
in
love olive
orange,
green.
if you have more in orange, I'll take all of them. If you
Hmm.
got more in olive green, I'll take all of those too. Because this shit is so, it's not even silky. It's like polyestery. I don't know what the fuck this
But
is.
it's soft up against the skin.
It's
Mhm.
soft, it's free flowing, it's comfortable, it's airy as fuck. And I feel like if I go outside with no drawers on, it's gonna be the best day ever. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Go outside with no drawers on after a fresh wax and get them legs
Man,
taken
listen.
care of,
Mhm.
baby.
Wow.
Let
I'm
me
gonna be
tell
slipping
you.
and sliding and getting loose, okay?
Mm.
I I cannot wait to get back to my self I already do self care at home, but like my going out and doing self care, I did a self care before my accident, and I went and I got me a massage. I went and got like some of my favorite little snacks and things like that, and I got me a wax. And my friends, everybody had a wax. I never got one, so everybody was telling me about getting a wax, but I
I
was
remember
like,
that.
you remember that, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna do it. So I did it. And they was like, well, you like a little dress or whatever. Don't put on like no pants. I said, okay, cool. So I had me like a cute little flowy dress. It wasn't long, but it was like knee length. When I say after that wax, I took them underwear off instantly.
You was
And
outside,
I was
like
outside like it was the best feeling. And I felt so like sexy. Like I ain't had no man or nothing. It was me. It was just me and feeling good to me and feeling sexy for me. And I think oftentimes, a lot of times, people don't realize that women, a lot of women aren't doing it for the attention or for the man. We are doing it for ourselves. I have a best friend that when every time she steps out the house, Sheree, every time she steps out the house and she's going somewhere, Sheree makes sure that she's done up head to toe.
she is so
And
cute. She is so stinking cute.
she's so cute. And people always be, well, I ain't gonna say people always, but people have said, like, girl, where you going? Why you dressing up like that? Because she's outside. And that for her makes her feel good. She married and everything else like that, but she
Mhm.
don't, even if she ain't out with her husband, she out with us. She will be the one that's probably the best dressed out of everybody. I'm like, girl, I ain't going outside with you. Help me pick out an outfit. Because if you're about to go outside looking like this and then I look all regular.
So Sheree is the me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah,
I
because you
used to
did that
be,
when we was
I'm
in
the friend that be like,
Alabama. I'm like, girl.
when we was in Alabama, I literally be like, okay, so how we dressing? And then even when somebody tell me like, I'll be like, is we cute cute or is we homeless cute? And sometimes people be like, we just regular. And I'll be like, okay, so I just dress regular. And so I dress my version of regular. Though. Like,
hmm She walked out
so
there
it
with a
always
full
be
beat
funny.
face. I said, ma'am, do my makeup.
Right, right.
Right over there in that corner, Miss Sassy. That's her. That's what she do. And then you just sitting there looking like the boneless chicken with nothing
Oh,
on.
yeah, Regina.
Oh yeah,
Uh-uh.
Her
Miss
too.
yeah,
Miss Sassy up at the top.
yes. But you know what? When I go to work, people always be like, "So why are you dressed so extra? Why come you're not?" When I come to work, my job is very stressful because I work for the Department of
hmm
Revenue. Tax season, honey.
Ooh.
And so when I walk in there, I get dressed. I have, I don't know, when I get dressed, something about getting dressed. Miss Sassy comes out. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing it to get attention, but it makes me feel good about myself. So
Mm-hmm.
if I get up and dress myself up, it makes me feel better about going to work. So
Mm-hmm.
I always tell them, why come you're not extra, baby? I came out my mama's womb extra. It is what it is. So it makes me feel so good about myself because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times I'm so busy taking care of everybody else.
Mhm.
And the only time I get to take care of myself is if when I get ready to go to work. So it's like, girl, let me be extra. I'm gonna be
Mm.
extra. And it makes me feel good. So yeah.
I used
You
to be
know,
extra. I'm coming back though.
yeah.
Girl, what you mean?
Huh?
What you mean used to be?
I used to be. Now quit playing. You know what I look like today. Quit playing.
We saw
Exactly.
each other this morning, okay? So uh, let's stop there, okay? We saw each other this morning. Cause up under this hair, baby, Ice Cube, okay?
No, not
Had it
today was a
down
good
bad,
day.
okay? Like, and I don't mean Ice Cube fade Ice Cube. I mean Ice Cube as Doughboy type shit up under
Oh
this.
no.
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And
Oh
then it be
no.
having the nerve to stick out the side of my little baseball cap. We not gonna do it.
Oh, I hate when my hair stick out the side of my. I be like, dang, come on.
Listen, the little curls be
The little
busting up
curls
down
be
the
like
side.
They
I'm
got
like, I'm
texting
just
it.
like Easy E or Ice Cube,
Be like,
whichever
wait,
where
one
is
you
the
choose.
edge control?
wait
Listen,
for the hairbrush.
be so mad. So I did find an article about 7 tips for finding sexual freedom. And I'm gonna share this.
Mm.
I'm gonna share this in the chat with the ladies. I'm gonna share this. But I'm trying to skip past all of her stuff. Okay. Sexual liberation, though, is not the same as sex therapy. Whereas sex therapy is typically about resolving issues in the bedroom, sexual liberation often happens outside of it. Okay? The path is holistic, involving lifelong spiritual and emotional work that has to do with understanding the relationship between all of the body's experiences. Um for others, healing has meant developing an appreciation for their own bodies and eroticism, or unpacking social commentary about correct expressions of gender. For many femme people, liberation has been unlearning the message that someone else's orgasm matters more than your own.
Mm.
Okay, come on, Whitney. Um, so here's what Whitney recommends. Show up for yourself first. She recommends setting up a morning routine. Listen, we talked about this. We talked
Mm-hmm.
about a morning routine. So the morning routine that awakens your physical body, grounds your mind and your spirit in your body, and sets an intention for the day. Um, for them, that looks like starting the day with water or tea, doing skincare routines, sitting at their altar, pulling a couple of cards, writing in your journal, whatever your day looks like. These rituals provide ways for you to connect to yourself, your voice, and connect to your story, because it's easy for you to take on the energies and issues of people that you are speaking to or working with or dealing with on the day to day. So checking in with yourself first and showing up for yourself first is the best. Number one. Number two, understand that there is no timeline for healing. Woo!
Say that one more time.
Understand. Hold on, let me put on my
Yeah.
pastor voice.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna cue you up.
Understand that there is
Mm-hmm.
no timeline for
Well,
healing, children of God. Okay?
uh-huh. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Say that.
Okay.
Say that, Pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as you get deeper into your healing, there's more to reconcile with.
Mm-hmm.
The deeper you go, the more the deeper you go, the more shit you got to deal with. The more shit you got to unpack. Some of
Mm-hmm.
us been unpacking for a little while, and we still on the surface of it all.
Mm-hmm.
One of the books I read, The Life Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck. It talked about having barn houses. Okay? And just a damn thumb. And then just think about your barn house being full of shit. You can move, like, the surface level is clearing the shit from the door.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can move the shit from the right side. Then you can move the shit from the right back side. You know what I'm saying? So you working your way through the shit, but it takes time to get through the shit. But also, that's a good ass book. Check it out. The Life Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck. Okay?
Come get it.
Um, but as you get deeper into your healing, there's more to reconcile with. She said, I think each layer that we excavate can help inform the next layer that we get to. But it's really important that folks understand that our bodies are not clocks. We cannot and we should not treat them as though they are machines. Um, She wants people to accept that sexual healing is lifelong work. Don't chastise yourself if you feel you stumbled or regressed in some way. Work on silencing inner voices that give negative feedback, as those are the voices that want to punish, not liberate. Okay?
Right.
Um Practice body curiosity. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, girl, talk to me
Right.
nice. Sexual liberation is oftentimes about working to heal the harms incurred from systems of oppression, including white supremacy, the gender binary, and heteronormativity. Whitney recommends starting with questions. How do you experience your own body? What does that experience look like if you try to quiet the messages that you have to be a certain way? If you were to ask your body which pronouns it aligns with, what would they be? Mine would be bad bitch. Okay. I don't know no other shit. Okay. But and she said the more that I asked myself those questions, the more I got clear about what made sense for me. Um, so her decision was to become non-binary. That was her
Mm.
decision. She said memories started to come through where I can remember being a kid, that I wasn't a girl, that I wasn't a boy. I was just being I was just a being that was enjoying life and playing and feeling fully in the present moment. Um, Next thing, write a letter to your inner child. Our adult selves are inextricably from our child selves. Who we are today is literally where our first traumas happened, and that's what a lot of us don't understand. Who we are, or how we respond to things now, is a direct correlation to the first traumas that we had as children. If we have not healed those things, then our reactions to certain things in our life are literally that of the age that that trauma took
Mhm.
place. So, if you have not been doing the work or have not started the work, a lot of people act out maybe like a 7-year old, a 12-year old, a 8-year old, maybe a 3-year old. Some people literally throw tantrums as
Mm-hmm.
adults, as we see this person that's in office. But I digress. Um, so they still respond in ways that their first trauma took place. And then as you do the healing, as you do the layers, then it'll clear some of the pathways, but the work has to be done. um she said addressing and healing pain or trauma that comes up in our adult lives can start with writing a letter to your child self, and that could consist of a love letter or even an apology letter. Okay. That's definitely something on my list of things to do from therapy. But guess what? I keep avoiding it. I'ma just tell y'all my business. Okay. Um, period. So for BIPOC people, set boundaries with whiteness.
Mm.
Okay.
Our sexual
Okay.
selves respond to the world around us. If we're constantly taking in interpersonal and structural forms of homophobia, racism, and sexism, our sexual, emotional, mental, and physical health will reflect that. Okay? I need Whitney to be out. Like, I need to talk to her. I need to sit at her table. Okay?
Mm.
They limit whiteness where they can, in their circle of friends, and by curating an Instagram feed of predominantly BIPOC creators. So that's how you like trim down whiteness. But she also said it's been really difficult because the world operates and was built on white supremacy.
Mhm.
But she's proud of herself that she's created the kind of safe haven where she's limiting people's access to her. And that's something else that we need to do too. We need to learn to limit people's access to us, our energy, our bodies, and all of those kind of things. And then trust in your cravings. That
See,
sounds yummy. Okay.
so the
Sexual liberation demands that we center and embrace our own pleasure. This is important, okay? Because most of our lives we are taught that pleasures are guilty,
Mm-hmm.
or that offering our bodies what they're asking for is indulgent. Instead, let your body guide your diet or your sexual appetite.
Mm.
Um, do I have a craving for that? Or she even said, like, when it comes down to not just sexual pleasures, but all pleasures. If you desire a cookie and you like, I really want this cookie, but on the other side of your mind, you like, if I eat this cookie, it's gonna make me gain 12 pounds, or it's gonna make me do this, or it's gonna make me do that. So she said, ask your body, do I have a craving for that? Or ask, hey body, what are you craving right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, she said, release built up energy in your body. She recommends movement as a path to releasing negative energy and grounding oneself. They say that our emotions like stress, fear, or shame build up in our bodies and prevent us from being present, experiencing pleasure, or connecting with ourselves and others sexually. She recommends starting with a playful shimmy or sensual dance meditation. And you know what? I like this shit, Whitney. Because I told y'all that I used to smoke, and I used to get high and dance in my living room. I used to get high and dance in my living room. And in my old living room, I used to have these beaded curtains between my living room and my dining room. And I would literally get high and dance in the curtains. I literally got a video on my Snapchat of it. Um, but what things have you all, of the list that I read off, but especially when it comes to um the body curiosity, what things have you tapped into when it comes to your body's curiosity, or what you find yourself being curious about, whether it's sexually or not?
Okay, I guess I'll go. I was gonna get y'all a minute. Um, so like for me, it's not sexual. Mine is I lately have been curious about the flexibility of my body.
Come on, Flexi. Come on,
I've
little bendy
I've
straw.
right. I've been interested to see what my body can do.
Mm.
Um, especially like after my accident and everything, and feeling like I'm and being limited for so long. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, what else can I do? If I can overcome this, because even though I do still have limitations, I'm not allowing myself to stay limited, right? So what else can my body do? What else can these limbs do? Like I'm seeing all of these women older than me, and they're moving so fluidly, and they're moving with grace, and they are looking my age, right? So that's been my biggest thing lately. I have like a homegirl, Rashawn. I absolutely love her, and I can't wait to see her. She specializes in the wellness of the body and the movement of the body, and seeing how limbo your body can get. And that for me,
Ooh, we need to do a class with her.
we can.
Mhm.
Just tell me when,
That'll
girl, and
be a
I show
field trip,
call it,
field
set
trip.
it up. because
Right.
she's amazing at how she teaches and shows you the different ways of moving your body and testing the limitations that you have and going beyond those limitations, because the body is only limited to what you
What you
limit
believe
it to.
you limited
Right.
You
to.
know what I mean? It can do so much
So
more.
you mean to tell me I can be out here busting it wide open with the splits again?
And can.
Girl, I ain't did a split since I was a teenager. Cause baby, these hips ain't, they don't do what they used to do. So
I never did
yes,
one, so I'm
get
trying to get down there.
set up a chat with us.
I
So
got
we
you.
can get some shit cracking.
I got you. I'm gonna
Yes,
hit her up
ma'am.
right now.
But
All
what
right,
about
y'all.
what about the rest of y'all? What's
Come on,
y'all
man.
curious about?
I'm sorry, I'm back tardy for the party. What happened? What I missed?
So I asked in regards to body curiosity, like what things have you found yourself being curious about when it comes to your body or to other things that pertain to yourself? Don't necessarily have to be sexual.
Hmm.
I would have to say dance. You know, I when I was in my 20s, I used to just dance whenever, and my body I was in touch with my body when the music started. I don't know what changed it. I don't know how to connect with myself enough to just let go, enjoy the music,
Mm.
be like the pleasure of the music and how my body moves, and regardless if somebody's watching or not. I used to love it. And now I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I might do a side to side and a shuffle, but I used to do all
I'm
kinds of
sorry.
things.
Not
It's
the side
okay.
to side and the shuffle. Not you staying
Yes.
in the one and two.
Yes, one, two, maybe arm, like, hey, but that's about it. But like I used to find so much joy and pleasure in dance and in movement, and if somebody was there or not, I could be in my house, I could turn up the music, and now I'm in the house by myself, and playing the music, and I don't even know what to do with myself anymore.
Mm. That's
Better run
good.
Mhm.
around butt naked, wild and free dance. Go on and do it one time.
One time for
I'm
the
I'm gonna
one
do it
time.
one time for the one time, and then I'll let y'all know how it was.
You gonna get your mojo back from just that one time. Watch what I tell you.
Mhm.
You gonna
Okay.
feel so free, baby. Yeah.
Lindsay, where you at?
I'm in Baltimore.
Oh, you in Baltimore? Okay. Because I
Yeah.
was sure gonna invite you out to a dance class or two.
I haven't been
Yeah.
to a dance class and like I used to go to hip hop Zumba. They have it. The girl who used to teach it back home, she teaches it here, but it's on Tuesday. I don't do shit on Tuesday.
Mhm.
Okay. It's at seven
Yeah.
o'clock from 7 to 8. Baby, I ain't coming. I ain't coming. I got to be at home preparing for the show.
My sister
Uh-uh.
does dance classes on Wednesday. It's called Wild Out Wednesdays, and it be
Oh
lit.
wow.
She got a virtual class because I'll sign up for it on
She
Wednesday.
used to doing virtual. She don't do those virtual anymore.
Can we have an
Oh.
auntie's dance class with your sister?
Huh?
Would your sister do an auntie's dance class for us
Absolutely would.
virtually?
She absolutely would.
That'll
Hmm.
be lit.
I got you.
Hmm. Hmm. Sorry, my brain is over here
Yep.
like.
Because you over there with your head down right, and I said, here she go. She putting them notes in. I see you.
Yeah, madam.
I see you. Brain over there going.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I
Mm-hmm.
saw that bang down, it's over.
Yeah,
Right.
bitch. She over
Uh-huh.
there figuring
Mm-hmm.
it out. Figuring it out. All
Y'all
right.
so funny. Ayla, shut up. Get out my business.
Okay. Okay. All right, ladies, the rest of you. So what about y'all?
My body was curious just about me. Just me, myself, and I, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've always been around somebody. So just always
We
Uh-oh.
can't hear you,
We can't
Deidre.
hear you.
I hear you.
Coming in, I
Nope,
Mm-hmm.
guess
still
that.
can't hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. A call was coming in, and I get that
I was about to say somebody was either
affected the
calling or an
sound.
alarm went off. I know what it do.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody was calling. Um, at any rate, like I was saying, I was just curious about me, myself, and I because I've always been around others. So once I got to experience being by myself, and I've always kind of just been a spontaneous, go with the flow type of person. So when, oh God,
Mm-mm.
that gives me my
We can
nerves.
hear you.
Okay. So when I come in from the end of my day, I'm just curious about that time that I'm spending with me. If it's just one of those days where I'm not tired or worn out and I just want to come home and chill. Like I'm curious about the vibe I can set for me, just
Mm-hmm.
being with me, myself, and I. Does that make sense,
Mm-hmm.
y'all? You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
like I always been around either my dad or been around my daughters or been around the man in my life.
Mm.
And that's no more. And I'm finally in a place where I'm just at home, me, myself, and I. So I became curious about my me time
Mm-hmm.
and being able to enjoy being with me, myself, and I, and just setting vibes for myself. Like this right here, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have been able to do this in the past. But now I can just come home, me, myself, and I, and just vibe out having these great conversations with, other like minded women and
Don't
just
they be
doing
good? I love Fridays.
me
I,
too. I love it so much. Um, yeah, so just I'm curious about my energy and my vibe that I've set for me, myself, and I.
absolutely.
Love
Yeah.
That's
that.
beautiful. Like
Mhm.
keep tapping in. Cause
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you'll learn what you like, or you'll learn what makes you feel good, or what helps you to
Mhm.
decompress, or what helps you to get into a certain mood or certain type of energy on your day to day. I know sometimes when I come home, I turn my record player on.
Mm.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes I come home, turn my record player on, and I sit on the couch and just sit here, and let the whole album play. So, but I also put music on there that is like old school, that's mellow. Like I think it's Roberta Flack on there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Roberta Flack "Feel Like Making Love" album.
Mm.
So it's on there, and it just, just the whole little relaxation of it all. And then, um, I have my Alexa play a playlist from my music app, starting at a certain time. Even if I'm not home, it starts playing at 5:30.
Mm.
And then when I
Mm.
come in, the music is already playing. So it's already set in the mood. And so sometimes I'll tell her to turn that off and turn my record player on. Or sometimes I'll just let her play and sit down and get into that, to the energy of what's already playing. Because I've
Mm.
set the mood, because I chose the playlist that I want her to play on a
Mm-hmm.
day to day when I come home. So um
It's deep. I
Oh,
should
I'm
That's a
gonna
good
try
do
that.
idea.
that.
I should
Yeah.
baby,
try it.
listen, it's a game changer.
I ain't know Alexa can do all that. I be
Oh
telling her to
yeah,
do
baby,
stuff
play
while I'm
around in
over
that app.
here. But I
Play
didn't know
around in
she could
that
just
app.
be going off on the timer and doing stuff when I ain't here.
Oh, And then my sister, what she does is she builds her grocery list
Yeah.
on
Mm-hmm.
so like if she's doing stuff in the kitchen and she'd be like, oh, Alexa, add this to my grocery list, or add this to my grocery list, or add that to my grocery list. So that when she goes to the store, she don't have to be worried about, oh, I forgot. But she could just pull up her list based on what she told
Mm.
Alexa. Or, all these different things. I'll be having conversations with it randomly just to see what it's gonna say. But you can ask it questions and all of those kind of things, but also set the reminders and that kind of stuff. But yeah, let me know if you want me to help you. But it's definitely some shit you can do, and it'll it'll help your overall like way that you do certain things. Like even with your morning alarm, you can
Mm-hmm.
set it to play certain music at that time. My Alexa controls like my lights in
Mm-hmm.
my bedroom. So like you can set your alarm to where your lights come on to a certain level. Your
Mm-hmm.
alarm comes on in the morning, and then you could play a certain music and all of that other kind of stuff.
Now that part I did
It's
know.
only irritating
That's
when I don't
dope.
want to get up at that time. Like, no, wait for another 30 minutes, and then it's
But
annoying.
that's
But
a dope setup, though. I like that.
and I did it because I kept falling asleep with the lights on. And I was like, let me get some motherfucking smart bulbs because I don't want to keep falling asleep with the lights on. And I wake up and it's 4 o'clock and my light's still on. So, um, but that's just some ways that you can add to you getting to know yourself or setting your mood for yourself. And then, um, remember like smells, incense,
Mm-hmm.
candles. And I know we ain't gonna leave no candles burning all day, but make sure like you have certain things throughout your house. Like you can set bowls of essential oils out or
I do
what's
incense.
me too. I'm still old school. I
Mm-hmm.
do incense.
Mm-hmm.
But those little things, what's the little things where you stick the little stick in it?
Oh, the
I,
oil wick,
a
Yeah.
diffuser.
the
That's what it's called.
diffuser, the oil
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So they have those too, where you don't have to burn nothing or you don't have to light nothing. You can, or the a candle burner or whatever, but that's still keeping it on all day. So, but those kind of things matter. Um, like we said, the fabrics, the clothing, the scents, all of the things. Make sure. The one thing that I have learned recently is spend a little more money on your lotions, your shea butters, your, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
those kind
Yep.
of things, you
I be
know, and
tired
take
of
a
being
little
ashy
time.
and smelling good.
Listen, I'm ashy now because I ain't do all of that, but um,
I
I
have to
use
moisturize.
like the so just in case y'all didn't know, I'm a brand ambassador for Trey Bell Beauty. Check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but she has skincare, but she also has like these really really great um body butters. But
Mm.
then she has an oil that goes with it as a companion. So when you put the oil and the baby, you be over here sliding off the sheets. Okay. Okay. It's so good. And one of my favorite is the mahogany teak wood.
Mm.
Mm.
Um so I put and I'm gonna do a whole little side segment one of these days on layering of scents and all of that kind of stuff so
Yeah.
y'all can really make impactful smells when y'all going outside. Good ones. Okay, good ones. Because we got enough of the bad ones. But the oil, the body butter, and then I spray a little bit of mahogany teak wood on, and then
Mm.
I spray on top of that a little bit of eucalyptus and spearmint body spray,
Mm-hmm.
and I walk around here smelling like a problem. Okay, I smell like a problem. So those are other things. Like make sure you spend a little extra money on those kind of things
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be out here ashy and you don't want to be out here with your hands dry and your feet dry as a grown ass woman. It happens. We get it, but especially like if you are in that era where you're tapping into yourself and you're trying to do more to take care of yourself, i.e., me and D. Um, and so those are some of the things that we can invest just a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
in order to make sure that we have the best experience and we're able to start tapping into our sensuality and sexuality in those ways.
Cause baby, I'm always ashy, and I swear I be like, I put lotion on,
Mhm.
but my skin absorbs differently than on certain stuff. I got to find out what works for me. Find out what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
To look
Yeah.
beautiful.
But go to TreyBellBeauty.com, beauty with an E, and try them. Oh, she got all kind of scents. But my favorite is the mahogany teak wood because it smells just like mahogany teak wood.
I love mahogany teak wood.
Can
And
you put that in the
then,
chat?
huh?
Can you please put that in the chat?
I
The
sure
site.
can. I
Thank
I
sure
love that all the
can.
things though, cause like one of the things that I've done outside of like lingerie is like for my bed, I ended up buying me some silk sheets.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also bought me like I bought me some silk sheets, and then I bought me like a weighted blanket, and then I
Ooh.
also bought me a what is it called? It was like the something count or whatever. Not
Thread count.
lamb, the
Thread
thread
count.
count, but it was like one of those high thread counts. I don't remember which one
Come
it was.
on. Expensive sheets.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but I still got them, and I don't pull them out until I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm just feeling it today. Like I just want to be in this bed just sliding, and then I throw that
Not just slay.
just sliding, and then I got my
You slide with them silk sheets.
man, just get out the tub, and then I put my body scrub on. My body scrub that I have also has like shea butter and stuff in it, so I throw that on. So
Mhm.
I'm real soft by the time I get in that bed. Throw some music on, baby, butt naked sometimes, or sometimes I throw on. I got like a silk sleeper. Throw that
Mhm.
on, and I'll just be. I just be like, man, this feels so good. Some wine or some juice, some tea, whatever I'm feeling that night, and it's just like it does something to me. I just feel good. You know what I mean? I sleep better.
Mhm.
I sleep
Mhm.
better. And I'm like, I can't do it every night. But the nights that I do it, baby, it's the best feeling.
Listen.
And
Um.
we always got to do those things. I think I remember once upon a time just trying to always make sure that the people around me, like I think we talked about that earlier, were happy or taken care. Especially if I was in a relationship. It was one of those things. Being in a relationship is one of those things where it's like, okay, is he okay? Is he cool? Is he satisfied? But still in the midst of that, still making sure that I'm okay, that I'm cool, that I'm sad, the things that I like to do and that I want to do or whatever, because he may not want to do those things. Okay,
Mhm.
well, that's what Ayla gonna do today. Ayla's gonna go to to the beach because I love going to the beach. Sitting at the water, that's another thing for me too. The beach and sitting out there and just hearing all the sounds of the water and just escaping life and everything around it. Sometimes being in these four walls can be too much. So
Yes.
just going and being outside in space and things like that, that's something that could be uh liberating sensually too, putting your feet in the sand,
Mm-hmm.
put some water
Mm-hmm.
on it.
Because it's grounding. That's what you're doing
Yeah.
when you do that. Like, even standing outside in the rain, a lot of us have gotten away from those things that made us feel good, even as children.
Mm.
Standing outside, playing in the rain, being playful, period, uh, does a lot for your inner child, does a lot for your inner being as a person, not just as a woman, but as a person. That playfulness, that childlike
Mm.
attitude and childlike behavior is what helps you to get to that space where you like, oh, this feels so good.
Because when I
Um,
say I can't wait till it get hot outside and I pull out these water guns and start lighting people up,
I
baby.
can't wait till we have
Girl,
some real
the
deal
man,
summer rain,
we
like
ain't
Carl
doing
Thomas
that, honey.
talked about. Cause I love summer rain. Like that is my
Oh
Mhm.
favorite.
yes.
Long
Yes.
as it ain't
I go
burning.
outside and stand in the rain all the time. I think I've done it quite a few times since I've been living here, and my neighbors be looking like, that ain't that crazy bitch out there again.
Again. I've sat outside on summer rains with like a hookah and and some wine and some music and just sat out there while
Yeah,
it's
I miss
raining.
I miss houses that had porches.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a house that had a porch, so I could sit on the porch, put my feet on the rails, and let the water just run down my feet and legs. And as I'm reading a book, and it's not a lot of houses these days that have porches like that. But that's the one thing when I get my house built, that's the one thing my house has to have is a
Mm.
porch. But what about the rest of y'all? What type of things have y'all been curious about, and then I'll answer.
Oh,
I,
wait. Child, look, everything. Mm.
Yeah, come on, girl. Come on, girl. Like, talk to us.
Look here. The sensual, sexy, baby. That is a part that to me is just free. You know what I'm saying? It's just free, but it's like it's one thing if I could, I would walk outside butt naked. Just you know what I'm saying? Just to have that. I literally used to do it outside. You know what I'm saying? When I had my backyard. Because it's something about that part on your body. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. But that
We
goes
ain't
back to that.
judging.
You know what I'm saying? It goes back to that. The rain. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to all of that. That part of me, I can't do it right now. You know what I'm saying? And that part just it's just a different nature to your body. Don't judge me. All right, I'm done. Y'all looking at me like,
no,
why
it's
you
something about
outside?
that. It
Why
makes
you
you feel
outside
good.
butt
Yeah,
naked?
I can relate. I can relate.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I can relate.
It's something
Absolutely.
about that sun on your body. It's like
Hmm.
refreshing. It's brings energy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's why I can't wait to go somewhere with a bunch of sun, and I got a hotel room that's like on one of them top floors.
It ain't even gotta be on the top
You
floor. You
don't
could
have
be
to be
in
on
the
the top
I
middle.
mean,
floor.
it don't, but I just want to be closer to the sun.
Right,
That's why I
right.
say on one of them top floors. The higher up you get, the
You feel
closer
like
to the
you could
sun
be.
you are. And
Uh-huh.
I want to be real close to the sun because they do what's called like sunbathing,
Hmm.
but it's like you lay there, but you pull your legs up and let your girl get some of that sun.
Sun.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I was like, oh,
Never
that's
heard of
a
it.
thing.
Yep.
Let me
Mhm.
let me get out here because it helps with like releasing, like it's like a releasing kind of ritual situation thing. But I'm
Really?
gonna look into it because I'm like, if
You
my
guys
if
are
my
orgasm like
patio
that.
wasn't open, okay, if my patio wasn't open, and baby, I'd be out there all the time. But yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
Yep.
it's like,
You do it at night.
oh, it's so many things that we can do and that we would like that we have the opportunity to do. I think a lot of us just let life get in the way of us exploring, having that childlike mindset of exploring and really tapping into what that freedom looks like or what that freedom truly could be. But we just get so caught up in the busyness of being an adult.
Mm.
But for me, for my curiosity, um, mine has kind of been sexual, but also not sexual. The not sexual has just been kind of similar to D and Ayla. Like my flexibility, my strength, what my body can endure. Um, but also how much pain, pleasurable pain can my body endure? Not just the like aches and pains, like nah, I don't want to be aching and paining in that way. But I also have been very curious about how much pleasurable pain can my body endure, and
Mm.
for how
Mhm.
long can
Mm.
it endure that pain.
Uh.
um but also um truly curious about what my body has to say when I'm in the presence of certain people. Like,
Mm.
I've been learning to listen to my body more, and learning to walk away from shit that my body really is like, I don't like how this feel. If I'm tense the whole time we talking, or I feel uncomfortable the whole time we talking, I am learning to remove myself from those situations. Or if it just feels like it's merely or completely, utterly sexual, I am removing myself from those situations because
Mm,
I'm I'm a big kid now. Because
Right.
before I used to just let my desires rule me and not really care about the connection or none of that, or not even care about the person. But the older I
mm,
get, the more I want more connection, the more
yeah.
I want more intimacy, the more I want more um stability. But I also want the stability so that I am able to explore, because I don't want to explore with any and everybody. I want to explore with somebody that I'm truly in the space to explore with. And if I can trust you enough to explore with you, then I'm also curious enough to be able to tap into the open relationship or the polyamory or whatever those things may look like. Or, because I'm at a space that's where I'm thinking. Like, at one point I was like, hell, I might even get a girlfriend, but I was like, I don't even like us like that. But but then also was
Man,
like, I mean,
listen,
it could be a girlfriend, but
Girl.
it don't have to be like a girlfriend. You know what
I
I'm
get what you're
saying?
saying.
I'm
You don't
like,
want to
it
be in
could
a
just be
relationship
like
with
a
one.
companion that's a girl.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a relationship with one.
Yeah, like,
Hmm.
I don't know, that sounded weird, but it was just
No,
like
I can get you.
that's really what it is. Like, I don't necessarily have to do nothing. Like, we could be long distance. Like, we can literally just be companions. Like, dudes be talking about being getting married to other dudes or some shit like that. I'm like,
Mm.
well, I get married to a girl for the sake of just having a companion, not
Companion.
necessarily saying that I want to have sex with this girl or nothing like that. But even if we do, then we do. But I don't know.
Well,
I
you know they
don't
have
know.
that now. What is it called? What kind of marriage is it called when a straight woman
Marry a
like
gay
Lavender.
man.
it's called
Lavender.
a
Lavender.
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 Uh-huh.
Yep.
I was about
Lavender.
to say velvet.
What is that? Velvet.
What is that? Velvet?
Velvet.
But um even just giving myself the permission to think about those things.
Mm-hmm.
Because for so long it was like I feared the judgment.
Yeah.
Like, fear the judgment. What if I did say I wanted to have a girlfriend? Then what?
Yeah.
Do
Like,
you?
then what? What's somebody gonna say? Like, that was what the thought process is. Like, what's somebody gonna say?
Yeah.
How this
Yeah.
person gonna feel? And it's like, why does that matter?
That's it. That's the point right there.
Why does
Why
it
does
matter
it
what they're
matter?
gonna say? Because it's not them, it's not their life. So, but
And you
those are some
happy
of the
and
things
you
I've been
enjoying
curious
life. That's
about.
good.
Yeah, those are just a few of the things I've been curious about. Just really trying to tap in with myself and really see what in this regard, like reclaiming my pleasure, reclaiming my power, and and
Mm-hmm.
really tapping into who I am and not necessarily worrying about what everybody else deems correct or proper or right for me.
Yeah.
Um but I also just want to say this, like, thank y'all for making this a safe space for me to even say that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I ain't never said that out loud.
Oh, for real?
I ain't never said that out loud. I've been over here thinking it. You were
Mm.
thinking it, yeah, but you said it. Like, I never have said it. I said it to my sister.
Mm.
Um, but I've never said it out loud to even say that I've been thinking about it, because I have though. Because I'm like, I'm tired of men. To an
Girl.
extent, like, I'm tired of men. Let me get a girlfriend and see how that go. And then I'll be like, but then there's always that lingering thought, like, what they gonna think, you know?
You can't
Mm.
Cause,
let
cause
that.
we're learning. Cause I'm still in the place of learning to deprogram and unlearn.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's like a lot of shit was deemed shameful, or
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
all those kind of things. And I'm like, I'm not saying I'm going to be with a woman, but if I decide to try it out, if I give it a 90-day money back guaranteed
Money
trial.
been found.
And then who gonna stop me? But it's
Mess
just the
around, find the
thought.
love of your life.
That part.
Right. And I'm out here
That
sucking
part.
dick this whole time and I should have been with a woman.
Girl. That part. That part.
Hey,
Oh.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And even
But
like what you said about being poly or whatever the other things are,
mhm.
it's all about like you say, being authentic, like we said at the beginning, being authentically yourself and having those
Absolutely.
conversations with yourself and knowing like, you know what, this is something I want to explore, this is something I want to tap into or check on or whatever the case may be. And then being able to, because the thing about it being so many people in the world, there is somebody somewhere that is on the same wavelength,
Yes.
thought process, willing to go through the whole situation with you. There is somebody somewhere that's like, you know what, I'm gonna do, and then you end up finding your village, finding somebody you can trust to do whatever it is that you want to do. Whether you want to be in a heterosexual relationship or a polyamorous or a lavender or whatever, because the list
Whatever
goes
type
on.
of
There's so
relationship.
many
Yep.
types of relationships that you can
Relationships.
have. Whatever you want to be in, you're going to find somebody that is, and it, as long as you're looking for it and you're open to it. So
Absolutely.
with this conversation, this is about honestly tapping into yourself and being okay with what you decide and what it is that you want, and not allowing everything else to control or dictate
Mm-hmm.
Your
what
happiness.
your
Yeah.
happiness.
Your
Mhm.
happiness.
Because no matter what you do, people gonna have an opinion on it.
And that's where
Absolutely.
you have to learn to say, hey, this is my life. I'm going to live it the way I want to.
Or you can tell
Absolutely.
them opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one.
Ain't
Listen.
that it? Ain't that it?
And some of them a little funkier than others, but everybody got
You did.
Yep.
Yeah.
so. Um. So another question that I had, because I'm just,
Oh, let me get in on my little part. Hold
oh,
on.
go
Wait a
ahead, boo.
minute.
I
Girl,
thought you
yeah,
finished. Go
girl.
ahead,
Wait a
mama.
minute. Okay, so going back to what Leo said, I am learning about what I um like sexually.
Mhm.
I'm a pain fanatic and I love pain, but
Come
I'm also
on,
a control freak.
come on,
And
masochist.
so I am learning how to give up my control and
Mm,
become more sensual.
That's good.
I think I'm more like dominatrix, but it's like as I grow, I'm starting to understand that I can still have the pain, but I can also have the sensuality that comes with it.
Mhm.
And it's making me like a better person because it's making me more softer. And how can I explain it? It's making me grow and appreciate. And sometimes you be like, yeah, yeah, sex, 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 whatever. But it's making me appreciate my body and the things that my body enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't always have to be the tough person in the bedroom to
I was
be
about to say you
like,
ain't always got to be thug nasty,
no,
nasty
that's
thug.
mm-hmm,
it. That's it. And
mm-hmm.
then, and it's so funny because when people see me, they be like, "Oh, she's so this, she's so pretty. I bet she's like this." But I'm more aggressive when it comes to the bedroom. And my thought process used to be, "Oh, I'm gonna take this man's power and I'm gonna send him home." But now it's like I need to give my power away and just be in the moment, enjoy it, not thinking, oh, when he leaves, boy, I'm gonna turn him out. No, it's not even about that. It's about just enjoying the moment that you're
Mm-hmm.
spending with someone. And just giving into it. And I
Mhm.
find that that is very healing to my soul. I guess because growing up is, was always women couldn't do this and women shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And me, I I'm all over the place. I like men. I like women, and it's like it is what it is. I I don't get into any type of relationships just because of um oh, it's a male. No, I'm more attractive to a person's energy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, you may see me with a girl, you may see me with a man. I don't care. I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna hide this, I'm gonna hide that. I don't care anymore. I'm 54 years old, baby. I'm finna enjoy my life, and it's about growth. So, yeah, I get Leo where you say, how people be like, oh, what they're gonna think about this and what they're gonna think about that. Because growing up, my family was like, oh, if you're with a female, that is so shameful. And it's like, but it's my life. So what I do, what I don't do, shouldn't matter to you. And if I'm always hiding behind what I want, I become depressed behind it, and I don't want that
Mhm.
anymore. I want to be able to say, when it's time for me to lay down and go on about my business, and God say, hey girl, come on home, I want to say I've did what I needed to do to make Gina happy, not what anybody else wanted. So yeah, I'm at this point where I am just like, stop being this tough little girl and just grow into this more sensual woman. And that's where I'm at in life. I'm trying to growing to be more sensual and more feminine.
Come on, soft girl era
Uh,
loaded.
Girl, I need
Right.
it. I need it
Mm.
That's
because
exactly what you're explaining, is that soft girl
Yeah.
era is
Mhm.
loading.
I need it. I need it so much, and I think it's like when I take, it's like two pictures I've taken so far, and it's like the pictures are like faces of me, and they're like combining. So it's like, yeah, I'm going into my soft girl era, and I'm really, really freaking enjoying it. So yeah. I'm very much enjoying it.
So the one thing that you said that I want to kind of help you reframe the thought process is that you said, like, when you're being more sensual or in the moment, it's like you're giving your power away. No, you're still in your power. You're just
Mhm.
using the power in a different way. You're still
Mhm.
in your power. You're still in your femininity. You're still in um the power that you possess. It's just now you're not as aggressive with your power. Now you are more submissive to an extent with your power. And the other part of it is that submission is power.
And that's it. That's what
Submission
I'm
is so much
learning.
power. It
Yeah.
is so much power. It is so powerful. And that's why I hate when people say like being submissive is is
A
a negative
weakness.
It's a
thing, or when
weakness. It
people
really
talk
is
about
not.
submission and they talk about it as a weakness.
It
Like, do
is
you know
not.
how strong and powerful you have to be to allow somebody else
To,
to take the reins and
Yeah.
actually
yes.
operate and trust that they're going to do that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Shit.
That takes a lot of trust. That like takes a lot of confidence. That
Yeah,
Mhm.
takes
it takes
a
a
lot.
lot of understanding of self to be
Mhm.
able to do that. So you're not giving your power away, you are using your power differently.
Yep. That
Yes.
makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, ma'am. Because we ain't giving nothing away.
No,
We just
no.
operating in a different way
Different.
than what we operated before.
Different frequency.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. And it may not even be a different frequency. It may just be a softer one. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little
Yeah.
softer.
Yeah.
It's still on the same frequency. It's just not as loud. Um,
True.
but yes, congratulations, because that's a
Thank you.
congratulatory celebration.
Girl, it took a long
Um,
time to get here.
hey, sometimes it does, but at least you're doing the work to be able to get there. You know what I'm saying? Because you literally just said, like, based on how you grew up or based on how you were brought up, that your thought process was that you had to be aggressive or that you had to be a certain way in order to, navigate those spaces. And now you like, I got a different opinion. I got a different
Yes.
opinion. I got a different understanding of what that could and should look like sometimes. So that's
Yes.
a beautiful thing. That is absolutely beautiful. Go girl. Go girl. Go
I love
girl.
that for you.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
Um,
you.
so y'all know I be nosy. But oh, these two good questions. Let me see. Um, okay, I'm gonna talk about this. Can we talk about the myths surrounding good girls versus wild women when it comes to sex and pleasure?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What you want to know?
Um, so one of the things that I thought about when I was reading this, like reading through the description and notes and stuff, it my thought was I've been both. I've been both. I've been on both sides of it because um or I've been the quote unquote good girl because when I first started exploring things sexually and things like that, it was like it's just certain shit I wasn't gonna do, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
certain shit that good girls don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
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 But
Yeah.
you be missing out on some stuff.
Listen,
Yeah.
okay. And then the older I got, the more I realized no, good girls do that.
And
They
they
just
Good
don't
good
talk
girls
at
about
just
it.
do it and they do it discreetly.
Yeah, they just don't
Yes.
talk about it.
Good girls do it and they do it in a way where it's not everybody's business.
Real.
Mm-hmm.
Wild women do it and don't give a fuck who know. To
Mm-hmm.
me,
True.
that's the difference.
True.
Yeah.
Um, and I think there's a middle lane though. You know what I'm saying? It's a middle lane to that. Good girl versus wild woman. It's I don't know what to call it, but it's a
Balance.
middle lane.
But what is the middle lane? Like, what
The
does that
middle
look
lane
like?
is the woman who is both. Is a combination of both. She is
And
a wild woman and don't care if somebody know, but she also not out here broadcasting it. And she still out
Oh.
here do her thing, but she grown and sexy about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She just, she's a good girl. She's a wild woman wrapped in good girl clothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
she's silently promiscuous.
Right.
I wouldn't even say
Not
promiscuous. Like
promiscuous.
she just does her shit. Like if she chooses to be with this man, then she can. Not necessarily promiscuous, but like if that's the nigga she choosing to fuck around with, then that's who she fuck around with. But ain't
And
nobody got to
Yeah.
know that she fuck around with him. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those. Like she in the middle. Like she's a wild woman wrapped in good girl clothing. I think
mm,
that's me. I think that's me. That's real. That's a real good description of me. But I think a lot of times when we were growing up, we got caught up in that good girl versus bad girl or good girl versus wild girl type thing. What's y'all thoughts?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
I
also body count too, though. Good girls don't have a high body count. They have like you can count on one hand how many people they
Girl.
slept with. Bad girls,
Yes.
they have a high body count, and I
Yes.
it's not true.
Oh, okay. You saying that's a myth?
that's a
Yeah,
myth.
it's a
Oh,
myth.
okay. Because I was
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
say, girl,
No,
I
no,
know some good girls out here.
no, no. It's a myth. Like good girls, they
Gotcha.
have a body count, whatever it is, and bad girls have a body count, whatever it is, right? But the myth is that good girls have like the lowest body count. They're
Oh,
waiting for
absolutely.
marriage. They're holding it down for their man, and that's not true either.
That's not true.
Good girls just don't crash out as often. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's
Yeah.
a demeanor. I think that's what it is. It's a demeanor. Like,
And like you said, they're not broadcasting it either. So how
mhm.
would you know?
Real.
Because it's good girls out here who you would think are good girls, and we probably, maybe not one of us, or maybe one of us, or all of us have been good girls at one point where nobody knows, and then but we definitely know a few women in our lives would be like, and you get to talking to them, and you're like, you did what with who, when, girl, I never knew,
Right.
Hmm.
I never
Because
knew.
um on Thursday Night Live, one of my AKAs is Miss Especially Heinous. And it's always funny to me when I get called that because I be like, I don't be doing nothing. But then when I start recapping some of my stories, then I be like, bitch, do you know how this sounds? But that's how I got the nickname because I was telling one of my stories, and Paulo was
Hmm.
like, Leo, what kind of specially heinous shit you be out here doing? So that's how I got the nickname, Miss Especially Heinous. I'll tell y'all the story at the end of the
Yes,
show.
tell us later, girl.
Yeah, at the end of the show.
I do feel like there is this whole good girl, bad girl narrative, and the good girl ultimately seems like the one you want to marry, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
go to, because ultimately you feel like, well, I ain't gonna say you. Ultimately, the normalcy of it is a good girl. You could teach her, you can
Hmm.
show her, you can guide her,
You can groom
and
her.
you can
Mm-hmm.
groom her into the kind of woman you want her to be.
Hmm.
And for some guys, because I was in a marriage like this where I was the good girl. So anything that I felt like I wanted to do in the bedroom became a problem because he looked at me as the good girl. So so I got cheated on a lot because all the extra heinous stuff, like you would say, especially heinous stuff that he wanted to do, he felt like it was his prerogative as a man to do it with all the, or the whatever woman that he wanted to do it with, and his wife should be the kind of woman that is the cooker, the cleaner, that's sitting at home, and she just does the sex because
The
he
basic
wants it,
sex.
the
The
basic sex.
basic.
And
Hmm.
I'm like, I want to get bent over a balcony, like in fear for my life type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't know about fearing for my life, but period.
you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily fear for my life. I'm too short to, but at the same time, it's like, I want to do, and that just popped at the top of my head. Like, I want to do some extra stuff, especially with my person, with my man, with my forever person. Like, let's do all of the things that we want to do. Because if anybody's fulfilling anybody's fantasy, it's me fulfilling yours and you fulfilling mine. Especially gonna be doing this forever. I ain't trying to be sitting over here like, who was that comedian when she I think that was some more, and she was in. They was like, Stanley, Stanley to the left, Stanley to the right, Stanley. You know, Stanley, yes, Stanley, because it's just boring. You know what to
Boring as
do.
hell.
Boring is, you know what to do. I know you about to flip me over. I know you about to do this. I know it's about to happen. I don't want
Kevin
to
Hart
know.
did that too. He said, you want me to bend over? Yep. See, I knew it. Give me high
I knew
five. I
it.
know my man.
I know my man.
I know my man.
Like, mm-mm.
I know my man.
Mm-mm. And it ain't gotta be extra and crazy all the time, but at least some type
Spicy.
of,
Yeah.
explorative thing.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really, really important for us to really know that being a good girl does not mean that you're boring. Being a good
Real.
girl does not mean that you don't want to do the things. It just means that whatever the things that you're doing, you sometimes it just means you just want to do it in private. You don't need everybody to know, or you want to do it with your person.
Right.
Hmm.
That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just wondering what y'all was thinking about the good girl versus bad girl, because that's definitely one of the things that I think a lot of people have all of these ideas of what a good girl or what a bad girl is, and the reality is that Both of them be doing shit. It's just the demeanor and then how they handle doing those things. Because I grew up, so a lot of people thought I was the bad influence. Okay, just because I was loud, I was boisterous, I'm tall, colorful as fuck. So they always thought I was the bad influence, and I used to be like, no, I hang with the bad influences. I'm the one
Mm.
that keep these motherfuckers out of trouble. They just quiet. I'm
Right.
like, how I'm the bad influence and all of them got babies? How am I the bad influence when these bitches can't go nowhere unless I go? So help me to understand. Um, but the same thing as I got older, one of the girls that I was really good friends with, her mom used to think I was the bad influence. And I used to be like, I don't know why you think that, but it was because she thought her daughter was better. You know what I'm saying? She thought
Mm.
her daughter was better. And I chuckled when it came down to the fact that your daughter was the one out here, one, smoking, drinking, flunked out of college. I said, but I was the bad influence. Had a baby. I'm like, all of these things. And I was the bad influence, ma'am. How? Because I ain't started smoking until shit, late. I wasn't humping until late. You know, I'm like, you had all of these
Mm.
preconceived notions about me because I was out here loud and proud. But it was your daughter who was the little hoe, not me.
Not me.
And then even like back in the day, it was a lot of church girls that was out here humping and hunching around too. Them 7 Day Adventist girls, them long skirts
Not
made it
the
up over their
7 day
heads. I tell you
Adventist.
that. I tell you that much. Um, but yeah, that's what I used to be like. Y'all really thought some of these girls were good girls because they were church girls or because they were the quiet girls, and that wasn't true at all. And then the last question that we gonna discuss, or the last thought, um is, so I'm gonna give a tidbit of information before we go into the last question. So a few erotic blueprints and personal pleasure language tips. um there are 5 erotic blueprints. Okay: energetic, sensual, sexual, kinky, and shapeshifter. Okay:
Shapeshifter.
Right.
shapeshifter.
What that
Okay.
do? Like, do I dress up? Like,
Ah! um,
give us that list again. What it
hold
was?
on. Hold on. Hold on. Mm. It said, dang, come on, thing. It said energetic,
Hmm.
sensual, sexual, kinky, and shapeshifter. And I'm finna give y'all the breakdown.
Okay.
Hold on. That ain't it. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And these are we are listening again is what? So that people know why we waiting for you to
The
read.
5 erotic blueprints.
Okay. So these would
Yes,
be like
ma'am.
the things that you as a person lean towards.
Yes.
Or
So
like
it was created by a sexologist named Jaya to help people
Mhm.
better understand their unique preferences when it comes to like turn-ons and sexual expression.
Mm.
Think of them as the love languages. Okay, that's good, but for the bedroom. Love languages, but for the bedroom. So here's the breakdown of each one. Energetic. You can be turned on by anticipation, tease, space, and subtlety. You love
Okay.
eye contact, light touch, deep connection. Your shadow side can short circuit if things move too fast or feel overwhelming. The pro tip is to slow down, breathe, and build the tension. This is for the person with the energetic blueprint.
Okay.
Sensual. You are turned on by all five senses: scent, taste, touch, sound, and sight. You love candles, music, soft fabrics, massages, and your shadow side can get stuck in your head if the environment isn't right. So, if the environment is not
Mm.
conducive to what you like, you will be in your head the whole time where you are trying to have this experience instead of actually just enjoying the experience.
Mm.
Um, Mama A was funny. Uh, Sexual. You are turned on by nudity, penetration, orgasm, classic sex acts. You love directness, simplicity, the physical act itself. Your shadow side may overlook the value of buildup or emotional connection. The pro tip: don't skip the foreplay, just get creative with how you deliver it. Okay.
Mm.
Mm.
Kinky. You are
Okay.
turned on by taboo things, power dynamics, and
Mm.
unpredictability.
Mhm.
You love role play, dominance, submission, or sensation play. Your shadow side: shame or fear of judgment. Hold on. Mm. Because
Now,
I'm like, wait, what?
now you over here like, am I describing me?
But look, I read that one and the pro tip at the same time. The pro tip: communication and trust are key. Explore within safe, consensual boundaries. I literally just said that earlier, so I might be kinky. A shapeshifter. Oh no, I might be a shapeshifter. A shapeshifter is turned on by all of the above. Variety is the spice of life.
Mm.
Loves
Mhm.
being fluent in every blueprint and craving depths in all areas. Your shadow side can feel misunderstood or insatiable. Pro tip: balance and patience. Communicate your diverse needs clearly. That's good.
I like
Each
it.
person usually has a primary blueprint, which is your strongest turn on, and may have secondary or shadow blueprints. Learning yours and your partners can lead to to a more fulfilling sex life and deeper intimacy. That's good.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna share this because this is good. This some good shit. I love when we be having when we discover shit. When we be out here having these conversations and we discover some shit about ourselves, it'd be like, oh, hold on.
Like,
Because I
wait,
didn't know. I didn't know what I think I knew about me. Okay? I
my,
didn't know what I thought I
my
knew, but now
favorite
I
thing
know
to
some
say. I
more.
never knew.
Listen, now I know some more. I don't need to know no more because some of this shit I've been learning is a lot.
Man. And you got to
um,
process, right? You got to
you
process
gotta take baby
learning.
steps. Listen, so much. But my last question was it's a two-part question. Okay.
Mhm.
When was the first time you realized pleasure was something you had to unlearn shame around?
Oh, that's a good question.
Whew.
And then what
Hold
does it
on, girl. Hold
mean
on.
to
Hold on.
prioritize your own pleasure first without reverting back to that shame?
Mm.
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 All right, y'all go ahead.
She said,
Ah.
nah, y'all go ahead.
Mm. Oh,
Ah.
let me go. Let me
Go
go. Let me
ahead.
Go
go.
You
ahead,
got
boo.
this.
Okay, so the first time I realized that pleasure was something I had to unlearn shame around was now look, I was a little hot ass, okay? I had
Come on, make it plain for us.
um I was always attracted to older men. And I think I was what 17 and a half, getting ready to turn 18, and this guy, he was like 30. And the you know how your parents be always like, you young, you don't want to mess with older men, you want to do all of this, and they trust, they put the fear of God in you.
Mm-hmm.
And but this older man, it was like he taught me things that I didn't think I would ever want to do. And I was like,
Listen,
hold
the
up.
thoughts that's on her face.
I was like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. I had to process it because I was like, ooh, if my mama knew I was doing things like this, or, especially when it came to oral sex. You know what I'm saying? It was
Mm.
like, you don't let him, my mama used to say, don't never let a man go down on you, and you don't never go down. Girl, the lies, baby, maybe she needed to let somebody go down. Okay. Anyway, I digress. But it was the fact that he taught me things that made me just be like, oh my Lord, let me clutch my pearls. Because that him taking his time, some people were like, oh, he was grooming you. No, baby, I was grown and I was fast and I did what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I knew what I liked. I didn't want nobody my age because I knew they wasn't gonna satisfy me. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted somebody that could teach me some things and show me some things, and believe me, he was showing me some things, and he made me understand that just because you're doing these things doesn't make you a bad person. You're here to enjoy. Your body is here to enjoy this, and honey, when I stopped thinking about what everybody thought about it, the pleasure that was unleashed was
Mm.
uh, uh. I'm sorry, I'm having flashbacks over here,
Yeah, I can tell, girl.
but
That's okay.
it helped mold who the person I am sexually,
Mhm.
and I am so forever grateful to this older man because I can enjoy sex and ugh, yeah. Let me yeah.
Mm.
Honey, yeah. Yeah, that shame is out the door. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do now. But yeah,
Okay, girl.
Yeah.
Come back. Come back to us. Come back,
girl,
girl.
I
Come
got it.
back.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me go and sip my tea. Hmm.
Yes. Okay.
I guess I didn't get to that point in my life until I hit 50.
Mm.
Mm.
And I just turned 53 on the 6th. But once I turned 50 and I have two daughters and my youngest one graduated high school when I was 49. And when I just stepped into 50, I was just like, I'm gonna do me. Like I don't raise my girls. I'm divorced. It's just me, myself, and I. Although I never thought that I would have been in that space at 50 years old, but when I embraced it, I was like, I'm gonna do me. Like unapologetically, I don't care what nobody, think about it.
Mm.
Sometimes people, especially the older generation, feel like when you hit that age, you should act quote unquote a certain way.
Mm.
Like people are always blown away when I say how old I am. Strangers, even that I come into contact with. And it just blows my mind. Like, why is this you're supposed to act a certain way? Why you can't just do you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I do. I do me. unapologetically, and I don't give a fuck what you think about it. For real talk,
Period.
Yeah.
Period. Um, I think it took me a little while. It took me a while because I think it had a lot to do with not having the conversation about sex or not talking about sex or
Mm-hmm.
learning sex was about pleasure. A lot of us were taught that sex is for procreation and procreation
You
only.
know.
You
Mm-hmm.
is
Yep.
not supposed to be out here just humping for pleasure. Um, and when I was younger, because I was definitely the girl that explored when I was younger. But there was shame around the exploration because I was hiding. I was like, I want to see what this is. And like I said, I had older brothers. And so they had back in the day when you had the book club and you could order books. My brothers had those kind of books, the real sex books that was about this fucking thick that you could order from Time Life or some shit. But they
Not the
had
time life
Yeah,
erotic
but they
books.
had the real books, the informational books. So I would read the books and then be like, oh, okay, well, let me see what this do. But there was so much like hiding or shame around it because I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this or if this is something. Am I gonna hurt myself? Am I gonna fuck something up?
Mm.
Am I gonna bleed? Like all of those kind of random ass questions. But I think um and even the fear around getting pregnant and all of that kind of stuff. So when it came down to having sex, it was null and void for me until after high school. Cause I was like, I'd be damned if I be pregnant in high school. Cause I had saw
Mhm.
so many girls in high school that were pregnant. It was insane. And I was like, nah, I'm cool. Like one girl, by the time she graduated, she had like 4 kids,
Jeez.
Mm.
pregnant with her fifth. Cause she started
Oh.
having kids in 8th grade.
Oh Lord.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like, wait, what?
Mm.
What? No, I'm cool. I mean, we can kiss, but I'm scared to kiss because kissing get you pregnant. 'Cause that's what they told us. Kissing get you pregnant.
They sure did. Kissing get
So
you pregnant.
did.
Um,
Sitting on a boy lap will get you pregnant. I remember what they told
Everything
me.
used to
Mhm.
get you pregnant back in the day. But I think the older I got and the more I realized that I enjoyed sex or that I enjoyed certain things, there was still the shame around it for a long time for
Mhm.
me because it was literally like, damn, I'm scared to talk about this. But I could talk about it with certain homegirls and be like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
dare you. But there are other people I couldn't talk to it about because I'm like, you gonna judge me
Yeah.
or
Yes.
you gonna make me feel some way because I enjoyed what I enjoyed, or that
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
tried what I tried, and people say you ain't supposed to try that, so I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just keep it to myself. So I would say, oh, I would definitely say late 20s. But fully not having shame around the things that I've enjoyed is still in progress. It's
Mhm.
still in progress.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been able to shed a good portion of it as I've gotten older,
Mm-hmm.
but fully not having shame in the things that I enjoy has kind of like tapered off within the last 4 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because like one, it's because I've learned to like truly not live within the parameters of somebody else's expectations of me because that's not my business.
Mm-hmm.
Two, being in therapy and being able to talk through some of the things. And then three, just really giving myself the permission to be who I'm choosing to be without anybody else's mouth on me or brain thought
Mhm.
patterns blocking me from doing so. So yeah, it's been a bit of a journey. I'm still getting there, but um it's been fun. It's been fun getting to the point where I don't care about discussing my things. And I
Yeah.
think I absolutely know that this podcast had a lot to do with that, because you can't do stuff like this and think you're going to not tell your business or tell your truth.
Hmm.
And I love the fact that we're able to come on here and talk about these things in a way that is not where it's not vulgar, or we not on here just, you know, I don't know. I think some podcasts really just stick to the vulgarity of it all, when we could really just have the conversation about it. Like,
Right.
it doesn't always have to be vulgar. I don't care if
Hmm.
we do get vulgar, but but
Because
we
we didn't
really
have our
do have
days.
really great conversations about some of the things that a lot of people aren't given the platform or the space to do so.
Right.
So I know for a fact that having this podcast and doing this has allowed for me to not be as shamed or live in the space of shame and guilt um when it comes to the things that I enjoy. Cause sex is supposed to be pleasurable. And a lot of us weren't taught that. And then what was the other part of my question? What it means to prioritize your own pleasure first without guilt. Um, I think that's something that I learned a while ago, but I didn't actually implement it until like about a year or two ago. Cause I was like, listen, I'm not about to be out here having no bad sex. What's the point?
Hmm.
What's the point? What's the point in
Hmm.
having bad sex? What's the point in you hunching on me for this amount of time and I'm not pleased? So
Which, unfortunately, is the
happens
story
more
of
often than
a
not.
lot of women.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we don't speak up on that
Yeah, I
Real.
think
or lie.
because a lot of us were taught that we're not supposed to have pleasure from
Yeah.
sex. Men don't even feel like they're supposed to have pleasure from sex. They just know they're supposed to bust a nut. But they don't even have the thought process to understand that they're supposed to enjoy the before the nut.
So,
Yeah.
fun fact. Fun fact. Grandma, don't be mad at me. God rest her soul. So, me and my grandmother had this conversation because she would say, like, well, what's an orgasm? Sex is for procreation, blah, 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 blah. Now, let me tell y'all something, right? I felt in that moment, and me and my granny was going back and forth because I'm like, Grandma, you forgot that I lived with you. There is no way in the world that at your big age of 50 something and you didn't been through menopause and all that other stuff that you were at the Cyprus procreating, and that's what you think that it's all about. On top of that, I've lived with you, ma'am. I saw all of the erotic books, the Kama Sutra books, and, and all of that. So don't, but I know that the conversation was for me because she's like, well, me getting pregnant or me having kids at an early age and blah, 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 blah. But by that time, I was probably in my 20s when we were having that conversation. So, but I think it was one of those things because of her age and because of, like we say, it's something that's passed down from generation to generation, is having these conversations. And especially the older people, especially our elders, they deem it as they try to teach this part of it where it's like, well, no, sex is for this and da 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 da. And they're secretly doing the things.
Hmm.
So I'm like, ma'am, you can't tell me that because I know you. I've lived with you. I've seen that you came home with
I seen
Sybaris
it.
glasses and a Sybaris robe. And I'm like, Grandma, I know what the Sybaris is. So don't do that. But also, I will say for me, I'm still in the process of both. Both of them I'm still um learning for myself. um, because of how my introduction was to sex. It took me to it took me until I think I was 34 whenever I started bedroom candy. So everybody knows I did still do from time to time bedroom candy. And when I became a sexual health consultant, I started to really kind of look at myself in the process because I'm like, um how can I be able to teach women about self pleasure, pleasure in relationships, sexual health, and sexual wellness if I'm still dealing with the trauma around
Mm.
my sexual liberation or understanding of what it is for me, and even being able to experience pleasure myself. So about 34, um, and I'm 40 now. So about 34 was when I kind of started to really not feel the shame around it, especially having conversations with other women whose introduction to sex was the same way, because you kind of feel like this weird thing when you are a survivor of sexual assault where you feel shame behind having pleasure,
Yes.
because it's like, how can I enjoy something that caused me so much trauma?
Mm-hmm.
And it really is confusing, honestly, to have the pleasure and not feel shame or guilt behind it. So once I started to do bedroom candy about 6 years ago is when I was like, okay, you know what, let me stop letting this control the narrative of how I experience pleasure when I am, being pleasured. And also learning how to be more vocal about what I like and what I want.
Mhm.
Because if I don't, if I don't tell you, you don't know. And then also, let me add, ladies, being mindful of the partners that you pick in this space. Because when you are learning yourself sexually, or just any kind of way, right? Mentally, emotionally, and you're dealing with a partner who's not willing to learn that with you or understand that, and saying, I know I've been pleasing women all my life, and a good portion of them have lied to you. Okay?
Mhm.
They have lied to you.
Come
That's the
on,
first
talk
part. And the
about
second
it.
part is my pleasure and my vagina ain't hers.
Real.
So whatever
Real
you
talk.
did with them, it don't work with me. Don't group me in that because you felt like you did this, that, and the third to all these women, that this woman is the same. I'm different. I don't like that. And I do like this. So be mindful of those things, ladies, moving forward. Not y'all, just anybody. When
Mhm.
it comes to knowing what you like and what you want in the pleasure realm, and being able to say, I don't like that. That don't feel good. Put that away. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of times that shame or that guilt or whatever around all of that is part of the reason why some women end up being in situations sexually where they don't want to be in. You know what I mean? Like you said, laying there for 45 minutes unpleased and wait for it to be over.
Woo.
Don't got time for that.
Mm-mm.
No.
Waste of time.
And the crazy thing is, for
Real.
women, we our ability to have orgasms are sick, not sick in a bad way, but they're insane how much we can get an orgasm from the top of our head to the bottom of
Mm.
Mhm.
our entire body is is a sensory overload of ways that we can experience pleasure. Men too, but ours is more.
Yes.
Ours is way more. And the fact that we don't know that, and that's been something that's been like hidden from a lot of women, and a lot of women don't learn it until later, is ridiculous.
Real.
That's why I'm trying to learn it now. No.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm
I
ready to get out here and be enjoying sex, even though I'm not having it right now.
That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Me neither.
This some bull. Okay, no, I'm sorry. 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 Somebody else can go. I'm sorry.
It
I was
is.
about
It's
to
the
have a moment.
bullshit.
Somebody else go.
I would say I'm still learning. I feel shame a lot when it comes to thinking about my self pleasure. And so I mean, when I was 17, it was the first time I had sex, it was 5 minutes. And he got off and I was like,
Mm.
that's it. It was 5 minutes.
Hmm.
And he was older than me. He should have known better. And so, and then the next time I had sex with him, and he was my second person I had sex with again, it was 8. And I was like, so that's what I'm supposed to be here for. I thought I was supposed to be there for their pleasure, and then, you know, um, that's it. And now that I'm getting older and I'm learning that I deserve to feel something, I don't know how to express it completely. And it's a
Mm,
confusing conversation to have when I'm still trying to figure out what I need for myself to even know what pleasure looks like.
Mm.
Mm.
So, you know, and it's not the touching myself. It's not the having sex by myself. I need to know how to be able to have sex with somebody else and still be able to be like, yeah, that don't work. Um,
hmm.
yeah, I need you to touch me like this. I don't want you to caress me like this. I don't want to have them get the pleasure from me and I get nothing out of it. And then they'll be like,
Hmm.
yeah, that was good, huh? Absolutely not.
Not.
I don't want to touch you. I don't want to hold it. I don't want to.
Boo! Tomato, tomato, tomato.
It's not good. And then and then they're happy, and I'm just like, what did I just do? I sat there
And
wasting
you
my
don't get no
time.
water.
And they don't
Right.
get no water. This is probably why men don't get water in my house, because it ain't good. Okay,
No
Listen.
water, no hot towel, no
nothing,
sandwich,
Uh,
nothing.
that's
nothing.
that. Oh, I love this conversation because it really helps us to understand that we are really not alone in our experiences. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? We're not alone in our experiences, but we're also a lot of us are on the same playing field when it comes to unlearning the shit that we thought we knew or the shit that we thought we were supposed to know or enjoy
Yeah.
or endure during sex. So,
It's
And,
crazy because you just said about your first time. So the first time that I decided to like be like, okay, I'm going to give my virginity away. Uh there was no penetration. It was on my thigh. It was about 3 minutes. He did his thing, and then I was just like,
way.
I was like, I'm like, are we? I'm like, that's it. Like, oh, that was amazing. It was
Oh wow.
Was it though?
okay, lady.
Was it though, sir?
Like okay,
uh,
and it's nothing. I'm Here's the thing. I was young. I'm not. I'm not trying to badmouth the guy because I feel like guys also have been. They've been told some BS as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it's BS, and then we got our BS, they got their BS, and we trying to bring both our BS together and
Together.
create something.
at least find
Mm-hmm.
the hole, though. That's the only
It-
thing I'm saying. Find the hole.
Look, I've been thick all my life, but I know for good God doggone well. No matter how thick
Got
these
that pussy.
thighs were. But whatever. That was my
Oh,
experience. I figured
Lord,
since we were
Lord,
sharing,
Lord, Lord.
since we were sharing, I was like, you know what? You
Listen,
right. You right.
well, I hope y'all learned something tonight about what it's like to be untamed and unapologetic. And what it looks like to start reclaiming your pleasure, your power, and your divine feminine or your divine masculine. Because some fellas might be watching and needed to know that these are some things that they can tap into as well. You can tap into sensuality, fellas. Being a macho man does not mean that you cannot tap into your sensual side, because bitches love sensuality.
Mm-mm.
Come on.
They do.
Come on.
Bitches love sensuality. We love a man who know how to touch on us and caress on us and love on us.
Mm-hmm.
Come
And
Mm.
on.
also a man who allows that same thing to take place. Like a man that wants to be rubbed on and touched on and caressed and kissed and all of that. Most of y'all
Mm.
are so uptight and afraid to feel, or afraid to be in that energy, that you fuck up the moment, or you fuck up where it could have gone, because you too busy trying to be tough.
Mhm.
Boy, you is butt naked. Ain't no need to be tough. Ain't no need to be
Baby.
tough right now. Go on and pack that shit up and save it for when you leave outside this door. But we will we are working on being able to bring a lot of the conversational pieces from both podcasts to our social media. So not just clips and things like that, but also the information that you guys that we talk about in the shows, like the erotic blueprint. So we are working on being able to put those things out for you guys, so that way you can look into it, look it up, and even the article that I talked about with old girl Whitney, just being able to share those things with you all, so that way you all don't have to like rewind through this whole thing again and again and again, but you can. um but so that you all can tap in, gain an understanding, and really get from these conversations what you need from it, because it really is important for you to embrace who you are sexually, stop living with shame around your pleasure ideas, thoughts, and desires, and truly like step into who you are or what you like. A whole lot of what.
Hey, what you like?
Okay, what you
Me on the
like? Me
what?
on the what?
Oh yeah, me and
Okay,
Leo will jump into a
I sure
song
will.
break in
Y'all
two
will
seconds.
learn. If y'all new here, y'all will learn that I will jump into a song break soon as I get the thought process. Okay.
Yeah.
But we definitely are getting the information to you guys. We are stepping into a new era with PGC and PGC After Dark, and really revamping and doing some things, because we want y'all to have the information, but we also want you guys to be able to tap back in with us, learn something new, learn something different, and evolve and grow in different ways, because that's what life is about. Not staying in the same old funky, fucked up ass energy, feelings, or emotions, okay? Because if you sit in shit for too long, you start to smell like it. So we don't want that. So we hope that y'all had an amazing time with us tonight, because we had one with y'all, okay? We had an amazing time with y'all. We definitely enjoyed the conversation. I know I did, and I definitely want to thank the aunties for making this a space where I can come up in this thing and actually truly let my hair down, even though this ain't mine. But let my hair down and discuss some of the things that are on my heart, because I don't always have those safe spaces to be able to do that. And that's why we're here with PGC After Dark, because um I love being able to have that space, and this is amazing. So thank you, aunties. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah, yeah,
But we want to
yeah.
thank you all for spending your night with us on PGC After Dark. Catch us next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And just in case you missed an episode, listen on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and now on Twitch. You just gotta search PGC. You can search PGC After Dark, or you can search The Fat Girl Chronicles, and you will be able to find us on all of your podcast streaming platforms. All right. So we bid you adieu. So we tell you, keep it grown, keep it sexy, keep it classy, and always keep it spicy. I'm your girl, Leah Rochelle, with Auntie Lindsay, Auntie Ayla, Auntie D up in this thing, Auntie Regina, and Auntie Lynn. We want to thank y'all, and whatever you do for the rest of the evening and the rest of the week, y'all, don't do it with your half ass. Do it with your whole ass, y'all. Good nights.
Good
We love
night.
y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we hope you gained something that you can share with somebody from this here podcast. Y'all have a good night and enjoy y'all weekend and make it sexy this weekend, you know. Make it real sexy. Do something different. All right, y'all.
Mhm.
Y'all have a good night. We love y'all. Peace. We out this thing.
Cheers.
Trust, dependency, love, respect, passion, pain, intimacy, pleasure. I sit here stuck inside my head.